I have an idea of where these runners will go first. Let's see if it's what I think it is.
Well, there's a red boomerang. And a mirror, wow.
Interesting start for Michael, starting at Sanctuary and finding a mirror.
Yeah, I'm sure Balayame will get around to grabbing that mirror in just a bit. But Balayame is actually going to go down and check the Hylia Island. Oh, that's Ether. We are starting the seed with a large number of unique items.
Yeah, 3 for 3 on unique items.
And a quick map check reveals the red crystals in the light world, but that actually doesn't matter because we have we are now 4 for 4. That's a hammer. Okay.
Amazing. I do want to mention quickly that we saw Ether, and that is available.
Yep, there is a glitch that lets us get from the above the island and go down to it, so we can get it right away. But presumably he will be saving that for maybe a little bit later.
Right, it's an isolated check. Even though it's fast, it will kind of force a save and quit unless they get flippers. Michael is taking advantage of the automatic boots to get a bomb, a free bomb out of a stack of rocks, and he can just farm that until he's ready to go through Kakariko.
Looks like Balayame is going to check Bonk Rocks, which Michael actually forgot to do. It is available right away because we do start with boots. Fortunately, it is only blue mail, so if he does not check it later, it will be okay. But it is right on the way. It's not that hard to get to, so it's usually one of the first checks that you.
And it is also possible that Michael K just wanted to zoom to the left and didn't want to check it. He may check it with Slumberjack, perhaps. We'll find out.
Maybe with a DMA. Okay, so that's a shovel and a mushroom in Blind Set.
I like it.
What is with this?
It's a weird combination of items to start out. I like it.
So the most important item that we have gotten here is probably that hammer. No, sorry, not the hammer, the mirror. Because there is a glitch which involves the mirror. It is a Death Mountain descent, which lets us get into the Dark World without the Moon Pearl. It is in logic. We might have to do it. An early mirror often signifies that. Wow, there's a bottle up on Lumberjack Legend. Balayame is annoyed at it.
That's pretty funny. There is no overworld glitch and no allowable major glitch at all that will let him get that early. If he really wants it, he'll have to beat Aghanim.
Yeah, and we are seeing our first major glitch here, going to clip into that slope, then perform a downwards teleport off of the slope, which allows him to use some kind of broken slope collision to get up to Death Mountain. So when you go into a slope like Balayame is doing right now, the game isn't really all that good at detecting sloped collision, so it just kind of lets you move in a couple frames at a time. And once you've gotten into a particular amount, if you press into the wall, like down left or down right, what will happen is the game's collision detection is really broken, so it either forces you up a large amount or down a large amount, and we call those teleports. So we can use those teleports to get around quickly. And a great hint there, Bow requires Cane of Samaria.
Wow. Okay, and then we have a glove in the library.
This is a ridiculous amount of progression.
Right. One thing that it is possible to see in Overworld Glitch Logics is a glove go mode.
Those are great.
Those are great. That's not something we're seeing here, but it is possible. So all this progression early is pretty interesting. Michael K skipping a full heart container is an interesting choice. He's saving the the amount of time it takes to pick it up.
Which is like 2 seconds in exchange for decent bit less safety, especially in the early game. So we are in Desert Palace right now, which is in logic. On the other hand, Valiame over there going through the dark room, that is not in logic. We still don't require dark rooms in Overworld glitches.
One thing I like about Desert Palace is that you can get some magic decanters, like Michael K is finding right there. And he needs a big key because it is a crystal. So there's pretty much no reason not to enter it, get your big key, and get out if you can't beat Landmola's.
I think Michael has forgotten that he has the hammer.
Well, there you go. He remembers.
Throwing bombs at the popos. Ooh. Valley taking a death to a falling cabbage while escorting the old man home. That means he'll have to start over from inside this cave again and traverse all the way back.
Yeah, it happens to me at 1 out of every 5 races, essentially, because I do, like Bali does, like, I like to save the old man with only 3 hearts or so.
Oh, early DM. I prefer, honestly, going to CAC first, so usually I have 4 or 5 hearts.
For sure.
So the sort of standard glitched opening route is to go around. That's really dangerous. He's really close to his position. Okay.
I think that was just some sort of like dance to show off or something. Oh wow, look at those mitts.
Are you serious? Oh my god.
What's really interesting about this is not just that it's early mitts, but that they required the first glove.
Yeah, that is something that you don't see super often. Although here we have
Right.
Valiame running around as a bunny. He doesn't look like a bunny, but he is, I promise. So what Valley is doing here is setting up a mirror portal in a precise location inside of the Hyrule Castle courtyard. So when you jump off the bottom of the mountain like this, the game sort of continues moving your coordinates down, even though Valley is also very close to a screen transition. Wow, that was kind of scary.
Right. Valiame, I've seen him, he really does prefer these boots clips right at the bottom of Death Mountain, which is dangerous if you move the wrong way, up or down, perhaps.
Yeah, so what he did is... so he jumps off the mountain, that continues moving his coordinates down. In the map portal, the mirror portal places based on your coordinates. So if you're all the way down, you can just get in here. And those red crystals that we found, not necessary.
Exactly. We have access to Pyramid Fairy because we have Mirror.
Although, unfortunately, Mirror wound up not being very useful. So sorry, I just go into Pyramid Fairy. But outside of Pyramid Fairy is a sword, and that is useful.
I would say that's in logic, isn't it?
Yes, that's in logic. To get down there with the mirror.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
And hookshot, because we didn't have enough progression items already.
Right. And it's not guaranteed that a racer will go to Link's uncle early, so having that hookshot is really nice. In fact, sometimes I might save Uncle until after Aghanim 2 if I'm feeling goofy enough. So yeah, having a hookshot before Ganon's Tower, let's say, is very helpful.
Yep. Hookshot and sword for Baliame. That was a fairly worthwhile play actually to make. While Michael is taking a slightly more traditional route, going to do the Kakariko into South Shore route. So right now, the biggest thing that's on my mind is the Pearl's location. The Moon Pearl is a pretty important item. No surprise there, because it lets you not be helpless in the Dark World. But, of course, because we have glitches in play, we can get the Moon Pearl in the Dark World. It is a very real possibility, and it is in logic now because we have that mirror.
So, I'm sorry, we had a bottle in Mini Moldorm Cave. Did we have any other unique items?
We got Cane of Burna.
Oh, Cane of Burna. And we saw Michael K. skip Ice Rod Cave.
Indeed. I'm not actually 100% certain why he did that, because Ice Rod Cave is actually kind of annoying to route in later.
Yeah. So we saw him hop into the water and see the ether medallion, which Bali saw earlier. And now he's going to get his 3 red rupees, I believe, out of Sahasrarla's hut.
And Balayame having
90.
picked up a red tunic in Escape. So that puts him at the highest mail upgrade, and Michael is still on green mail.
Oh, wow, okay.
Although I expect Michael to pick up blue mail in the near future, once he does a Death Mountain ascent. And Michael is going to finally go to Kakariko after 12 minutes of putting it off in favor of Death Mountain and other assorted checks. So we are going to see Eastern Palace from Michael, which is a pretty like no glitch way of routing this, with the exception of throwing in Desert Palace. And Bali is doing a more glitched style of routing where you jump around everywhere.
That's true. We'll have to see what Eastern will do.
Yeah, Eastern could be a game changer, especially if Moon Pearl is in here, because that will let Michael go straight to Dark World. With that mirror, it also makes it... Yeah, with the mirror, it makes it good to route a lot of things in all at once.
I like this play from Michael. I never do this myself. It's in just my own style. But if something's here, I never get it. So Eastern is sort of like Ice Rod Cave in the sense, for me, in the sense that it's hard to route in later sometimes. And by the way, we saw a hint that said that flippers require a bomb. I wonder if that means Hype Cave?
Possibly. There aren't too many locations.
Yeah.
Okay, so something, well, Balayame just jumped off a mountain, so I feel obligated to point out that you can jump off the mountain to go to Tower of Hera. And it's also very fast.
Yeah, this is an important clip that we'll see a lot. It helps us not only go to Tower of Hera, it helps us quickly get to this portal. It helps us quickly get to East Death Mountain. And it looks like we may even see a Ganon's Tower play,
Wow,
which would be a
amazing.
sequence break.
Yeah, the logic doesn't expect you to be able to, or to have to do this without the Moon Pearl, but you can clip into Ganon's tower early, and it looks like that's what he's doing right now, because I can't imagine anything else going on over here. So we're going to see some select buffering here, in order to move only a couple frames at a time, 1 frame, 2 frames at a time, which will let him make precise movements so that he can jump off the bottom of the mountain, go to the top of the mountain, and now he's in Ganon's tower. He is a bunny, so he has to go take a death warp, which will let him become not a bunny. And then he can clear out the basement because he has hammer hookshot, which lets him get all the way to Ice Armors. Meanwhile, we've got Michael over by the Ice Rod Cave, which I guess is the way he goes throughout it.
It's hard to describe what's happening here, but another series of great clips are occurring. Oh, unfortunately, okay. I was worried.
Yeah, he's fine. He just got a down instead of an up.
Right. Michael K was going for a swag upward teleport into Ice Rod Cave.
I mean, it's not swag, it saves time.
It saves the frames.
Not even frames, it saves like half a second.
Uh-huh.
It's also kind of hard, so I don't even do it in all dungeons.
And I do want to mention that before Michael K did the Ice Rod Cave clip, he also did 2 downward teleports in order to get out of the Eastern Palace area. And the second one put him on a screen transition, which caused him to do the funny auto walk thing.
Which
or
is
FAWT.
Which is the best name for a glitch ever. And
right,
so
and it was required because it helped him move past the tall mountainous wall.
Otherwise, he'd get stuck in the collision. So we do have a hobo check, of which there are slightly faster ways of getting to hobo, but that is a convenient place where he was to fake flipper. And we have Balayame making his way through Ganon's tower with 6 hearts. You know, no big.
Right. I didn't explain this, but Balayame has the hammer and he has the hook shot. And when you're playing a glitched mode, you want to think that the game may be putting something in Ganon's tower, left side particularly.
Yeah, so you may have heard about the junk fill in other modes that okay, Michael's okay. So he bonked, which meant that he lost the water walk state, but it turned out okay. Oh, hey. There are the flippers, which did in fact require a bomb.
Right, this wasn't on my radar. But yes, randomizer room, as we call it, requires a bomb. So that's part of the hint system there.
Yeah, so Ganon's tower doesn't have that junk fill that you might have heard about in other modes, which prevents progression from being in there as often. So the 27 chests of Ganon's tower are all game for progression.
Right.
By the way, big key counting game really does not matter whatsoever in Overworld glitches, like at all. So right. I didn't even mention it.
I think it's worth mentioning that the big key was found, so we got a nice big chest check. We know that Samaria is not required for the big key.
On the other hand, that means a potential isolation of the right side chests because we can't get them right now.
Yeah, it does. There would have to be another Ganon's Tower dip to get those 5 chests.
Okay, so Michael is now doing a more traditional Death Mountain ascent, where you do a teleport above the screen transition, and then that lets you go to the right. And since you go to the right, that lets you get over to the main Death Mountain screen. Meanwhile, Balayame is having a wonderfully difficult time fighting the armors, with just a sword that does literally less damage than if he had not gotten an upgrade.
And I'm not worried because I know he got a fairy in a mini Moldorm cave. Hopefully this will give him sword beams, which are OP.
Yeah, so he knows that. He's just throwing the fire at him. Okay, so this is a glitched seed to the people in chat asking, wait, how is he in GT? This seems like a completely unfair race. This is a glitched seed, so we are allowed to use major glitches on the overworld in order to progress, and in fact they will most likely be required to progress, because the logic does account for them. And so we can see, and so you can use a glitch to get into Ganon's tower. Although this is actually currently out of logic, because he doesn't have the Moon Pearl.
And there are 2 more chests for Polly. So Ganon... Right, I forgot about that hint. The bow requires the Cane of Samaria. So that may be in Ganon's tower. It may be in Turtle Rock.
Unfortunately, we are going to need the bow to complete this seed because Eastern is a crystal.
Right, and there have been recent developments in sequence breaks and getting past mimics, bowless. That none of that is in logic, of course. And yeah, okay. So Michael K is doing Hera. Oh hey, there's the arcane.
And he gets the Pyramid Fairy hint, which means that he won't route that in. To be honest, this Pyramid Fairy is a lot easier to route in Overworld glitches. Sometimes I think getting that hint might actually be less good, because it kind of messes up your routing, since you'll try to avoid Pyramid Fairy. And sometimes you want to just go right past it. But we are going to see a Moldorm kill using that nice hammer.
A nice kill from Michael. He'll collect his first crystal. Or actually a pendant.
It's a pendant. Eastern and Desert are both red crystals, but they don't matter because we can just glitch in. So Baliame is currently walking through the Dark World. He is a bunny, despite the fact that the Dark Link sprite for the bunny is a regular Link. So he cannot really do anything. But this is in logic. It is important to note that this is in logic. He can be forced to go here to get the Moon Pearl. So right now he is doing a minor glitch, which is called Mirror Super Bunny. If you use the mirror on the same frame that you go into a door, you get Super Bunny inside. And what Super Bunny does is it's a glitch that lets you perform some actions as a bunny, such as swinging your sword, dashing, and most importantly, opening chests. So we can open the chests in C-shaped house and also in chest game in order to get the items there.
That's right. Some minor glitches are part of major glitched logic. Not all of them, but some. And so with those 2 checks, he's done a good a good number of the Dark World checks that he's logically supposed to or able to do.
Oh no, there's a bug. Alright, so this is a seed which is being run on the new hotfix for version 30, which is, I believe, version 30.4. And you may know that in the previous version, there was a bug in which the swords were kind of broken, so you couldn't get the swords in logic. The tablets didn't work. Aghanim wasn't in logic without the cape, stuff like that. But version 30.4 fixes that. So that book it means progression can be on the tablets. which I don't think Baliame really wants to see all that much.
Right. But it's nice. I sort of didn't realize in Bali's route that he hadn't gone to South Kakariko or the desert. And having the book means he can make that check.
Yeah,
If
that's
you want
actually pretty nice, since hopefully he is aware of the fact that they can in fact have progression now.
Yeah, we had a brief discussion about it in the race channel.
All right, cool. So everyone's aware.
Yes. So we saw Baliame do this earlier, and Michael K is doing it now. Graveyard Ledge is in Logic. It is in Sphere 1, but just as a shield for us today. It's a tricky one. It's one of the trickier glitches to learn when you're learning glitch logics, because there are a couple of different ways to do it, and they're both a little bit touchy, but they're not too bad with some practice.
Yeah. So right now, I am very excited about what Baliame is doing. So he is going for a pixel-perfect trick, which is called a mirror wrap. So what he's trying to do is to use the mirror on the same frame. Also, this... never mind. He's trying to use the mirror on the same frame that he transitions, which will do some weird glitchy stuff, and it will make the game think he's on the other side of the transition without actually putting him over the transition or something like that. I think it skips you over one. It skips you over a tile. And so what he does is he goes back over the transition, the game gets really confused and pushes him further than he's supposed to be. And that lets him kind of fiddle around. He's not where the collision... He's not where the graphics say he is. The collision is very different from what you see on the screen right now. So he's trying to navigate around to find the right place to stick his portal. And I've gotten completely lost as to where he actually is right now, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's gone back and forth a little bit. He may have been a little bit unsure or misremembering. Oh, but it looks like he corrected his camera a bit and now is able to see himself, which is pretty helpful.
Oh, I think he actually fixed the camera. That's actually... Oh, he is in Super Bunny. Okay. So he did talk to Stumpy, and getting an item like from an NPC, like where you would raise it above your head, that also activates Super Bunny, except on the Overworld. So where he's going now is to a pull statue, like where you pull for bombs, and so he gives a quick pull on that statue, and that actually turns you into a regular Link, because the game just does that for some reason when you pull on a statue. Like that's the best explanation I can offer. It just does.
Right, it has something to do with the Link getting into a tumbling animation. And the game just makes you into Link state, or whatever.
Yep. So now, you can't use items normally as Super Bunny, but you can in the Link state. So he goes to Link state so he can use bombs, so he can open up Hype Cave and get the items inside. Unfortunately, Hype Cave was about as useful as it usually.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Bali is... He's leaving Hype Cave. He's able to mirror and do some checks in South Hyrule.
Instead, it looks like he's going back over to desert area.
Oh, and he has the shovel, so this is a good chance for him to use it. He didn't use it before when he was here because it would have messed up his chance at getting Super Bunny state, or it just wasn't appealing, perhaps.
I mean, it would have been fine, I think, but because you mirror in the Grove, and then you dash down in the Light World, so you can fix your camera, and then you go back and you use the mirror so you can get Stumpy, without the whole thing being weird. I don't know the way he's doing it, because it's a little different from the way I do it.
Yeah, I should say that I've never seen the camera correction occur like how Bali just did it, which is really interesting. He corrected the camera before leaving the Grove. I've only done it after.
Yeah, same. Although we are going to get to see what's on Bombo's tablet. The first time that it can have progression since a long time ago.
And this is a good route, checking bombos, then you doing a couple of clips to get up to checkerboard. It'll be interesting to see if Bali goes in the desert next or to Gina.
What he might do is actually go to Misery Mire, since he picks up the mitts right here. He can use that warp and Bali.
That's a really good point.
Most Overworld Glitches runners really hate getting the mitts, because mitts means Ice Palace in logic, and you don't want to do Ice Palace because it's slow. So, yeah.
Yes, not only that, but also the Smith chain.
Yeah, Smith chain is also slow.
However, it's not in logic. The Smith is not in logic until you get Moon Pearl. Ice Palace is in logic only because... No, it's not in logic. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't have the ability to melt the freeze or the entrance.
Right.
Now, if this was major glitches, then it would be in logic. But it's not, so we don't have to go to ice.
Right. Major glitches, like I mentioned before, there are opportunities for underworld clips. We don't see a lot of diagonal walls, like you mentioned, with the faulty collision in the underworld. But Ice Palace has a diagonal wall right at the beginning. So in a major glitch logic, you would be able to bypass the freezors. All right, yeah. Michael K finds his sword.
Honestly, I don't think we should spend too much time talking about like the underworld map and the underworld clips and how that works, since that won't really come. But my question is, when are the runners going to check East Death Mountain? Because that is a very item-dense location that has not been checked yet. The answer appears to be right now.
Yes, that's right. We see Michael K going, running through the clouds. He sees an item on the floating island, and he does not want that item.
I don't know. I wouldn't want a blue pea either.
Clipping to the island is kind of funny, because when you get really close to the wall, you start splashing into it. So you have to figure out how to do some sort of swim clip to get there, or to sort of hop the ledge.
I mean, it makes sense. Clouds are water after all. So, you know. Although Baliame has flippers, which means that he has to do a slightly different method. Or he could just do the standard dash clip. Like, at this point, I think the dash clip is the most common.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty exciting
there are other ways.
When Glenn found the dash method.
Yeah, I was so excited.
Few months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, we're finding new glitch discoveries and applications all the time, honestly. It's a pretty active set of runners finding new stuff.
Right, and there is some overlap in the original Link to the Past speedrun as well. So 2018 was a particularly a productive year for all kinds of glitches in Randomizer and Vanilla.
And there is our Moon Pearl.
Aha!
Hiding in Paradox Cave.
Sphere 1.
Of course. So that Moon Pearl, gonna be pretty useful. So we can go right here, back into this warp, which I completely forgot that he had, over to Super Bunny Cave.
Oh wow, okay.
And yeah, we can clear out this whole area, maybe go down to Catfish. So with that Moon Pearl, we can pretty much go anywhere in the Dark World that we so desire.
Right, and Bali will follow shortly. I wonder if he'll start in East Death Mountain as well. Yeah, routing Dark Death Mountain is pretty interesting because you have Turtle Rock in logic. You can jump the ledge. You do not need a medallion. You could go to Catfish because Catfish is, of course, just south of Death Mountain.
And Bombos Medallion, so we probably have to go to Ice Palace.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And there's Fire Rod. So
this is just
two ways to melt.
Yeah. So there was a sword upgrade in Paradox Cave. Michael going to pick up the Master Sword from that, and Bally going to get the Tempered Sword, since he picked up a sword from some mysterious location that I don't remember. So Michael has the so the Turtle Rock Medallion is Ether, which you may recall that we have seen it on the floating island. We can get it, but the runners probably don't care very much because you can just go into Turtle Rock with major glitches, as Michael is demonstrating right now. We don't really care about the Ether Medallion too much. The Turtle Rock Medallion.
Right. I think there would be some key logic in place for having it, but most likely the runners won't key lock themselves in Turtle Rock. It's possible, but
yeah, there is logic in place to
unlikely.
prevent locks.
Mhm.
But if you glitch through Turtle Rock, you can actually use a couple of doors backwards, which saves keys. So you have to intentionally burn keys in order to lock yourself.
Right. Backwards Turtle Rock is always kind of interesting. It's fast. it's kind of fast, and you do get to save keys.
And Michael will be able to pick up almost every item on this trip, with the exception of Trinix.
Right. They just got Fire Rod, and the cane was in Hera, and we also know that the the bow is blocked by cane, so there's a decent chance we'll find it here. Not necessarily.
So there are 9 chests in the game which are considered to be locked by the Cane of Samaria. 3 of them are here in Turtle Rock. One of them is Vitreous, and the other ones are in Ganon's Tower. So we will see... Yeah. Sorry, you go on?
Yes, on Baliame's side, we are seeing a mirror wrap, another mirror wrap from Bali. Again, these are not in logic, this particular glitch, but it does allow him to quickly get to the laser bridge. So it's a pretty good shortcut at this stage.
And I believe that the laser bridge is in logic because we have Kane in logic as well. So Bally doesn't know it, but he might find progression here, and it might be worth it.
Oh right, he hasn't gone into the Tower of Hera. Okay. Something sharp held by someone friendly. I wonder if we have a vanilla tempered or something along those lines? Or did we find that sword already?
We have not found the 4th sword upgrade.
Right.
So,
Could be Zora or Smith or something.
Actually, wait a second. I think I think Bally got that sword from Hype Cave, maybe? That's possible.
Well, someone was saying he found it in Ganon's tower. I missed that as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, if it's Ganon's tower, then we are still missing the last sword upgrade, which is somewhere that Baliame probably doesn't care about, but Michael kind of wants to know.
Yes, and I do want to mention, this is not something we'll see in this race, but one thing that is allowed in Overworld Glitch races is Overworld dupes. And that's something that these particular runners do quite well. So often we see swords in the Overworld, and they can use glitches with the bottle, Overworld YBAs, to make them reappear. And so each time they get a sword, it will upgrade itself.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing with the way the game handles progressive items. You can just kind of get them multiple. Hang on. Does that mean you could do that with like gloves too? I guess you could.
I'm pretty sure it does.
You could do it with gloves, bottles. Although you usually need a bottle in order to do it anyway.
Yeah, for sure. It's not something I've really explored too much, but I know that these runners have practiced it quite a bit.
Yep. Anyway, we got Baliame checking the Misery Mayo medallion, finding that it is Bombos. So both of our runners have access to both of the medallion-locked dungeons. Although Baliame will need to pick up the Cane of Samaria in order to finish Misery Mayo.
Interesting conundrum.
So where are we going now? Baliame is going to clear Desert Palace. And Michael is going to the Dark World. I think he might be going to Ganon's Tower.
It looks like it. Could be Spike Cave. No.
He has no magic. Going to Spike Cave would be a bad idea.
Oh, he's out of magic. Right. We get a map check. We see a green pendant in Skull Woods and a red pendant in Turtle Rock. So we might not see any more forays into Turtle Rock, unless, Trinex has bow or something.
I should hope not. Anyway, so we will now get to see these chests over here, which Baliame did not get. Before any of you get too excited about Tile Room, he probably will check Tile Room. It's very common among the glitched runners to get Tile Room because really it's just another item location. It could be an item, could be not an item, you don't know. It's not like we're only looking for the big key at this stage. It's very, very unlikely that you ever get to Ganon's Tower only looking for the big key. So checking Tile Room is a pretty accepted play.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff it could be.
Like bow.
Yeah.
Never mind.
And there's
it can't
the
be.
bow in the compass room.
Yep. Just gonna get it here instead. So getting that bow is pretty good. Well, he already went into Eastern, so it's a little bit less good, but getting bow means that he doesn't have to do the kind of long and tedious mimic clip.
And he'll have a less tedious Ice Armos fight as well.
We're getting a question in chat. What happens if you go off the overworld map? So that kind of isn't a thing that can happen. I mean, sort of. If you go off the edge of the map, what happens is the game actually wraps you around to the other side of the map. So say I'm in the desert area and I go off the left side. The game will actually put me near Ice Rod Cave, but there is an important exception, which is that if I move to the right at all, like even by 1 pixel, even if I don't mean to because I accidentally got hit by a mine under a grass patch or something, the game will hard lock. So it's relatively dangerous to do what we call map wraps, where you go over the edge of the map, because there is always the potential of a hard lock. I lost a max light run to getting the mine in the grass, and I was really sad because you do. It's a vanilla speed when you get the ice rod by doing that, and the run can just die if you get unlucky.
It's a good category. NS Beyond's the world record holder.
It is a great category.
As dangerous as map wraps are, they are. I don't believe they're in logic. They're mostly shortcuts.
Yeah. A lot of glitches are just shortcuts. Lets you get around faster, and speed is the name of the game here, so those shortcuts are pretty useful. Yeah, if you do a map wrap and you hard lock, you can't save and quit. You're just stuck. You have to hard reset, and you lose all of your progress.
There's that sword. That was in Rando Room.
So did Michael not get Ice Armos? Because I didn't see it. He didn't go all the way, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's pretty interesting.
It's a bit of a
but
risky
he also
gamble.
didn't. Yeah, and he didn't do Tile Room, did he? Or
Tile Room's like a little bit less risky because it does take a long time. But skipping Ice Armos, that's 5 chests back there that you are missing out on.
Right.
That's like skipping a whole dungeon.
Yeah. I don't know. Michael's very eager to get to Aghanim too, perhaps.
I think he usually does a full right side strategy. So then I think he had to mirror out because he was low on health.
Yeah, we did see him consider full right because he used, I think, his key, but mirrored out at that point as well.
So Baliame finishing up Thieves Town. Don't believe that he got anything particularly useful in there.
Oh. So what do our racers need for go mode here?
Oh, Michael's in go mode.
Right. Well, there we go. That's why he's not checking chests.
Oh. I can't believe I didn't notice that, but yeah, Michael is in go mode.
Well, see, now that's why he's eager to go to Aghanim too.
It all makes sense. Wow, so that's like what, a 47-minute go mode?
Right, and I kind of missed it. Was it the bow?
It was flippers.
The big key.
Or I guess
Oh,
flippers and key.
Right. And flippers were in Rando Room too. Okay.
Yeah, because he needs to finish Swamp Palace.
Yeah. The early game was so loaded. it just kind of took me by surprise here.
Yeah, I was not expecting to get the go mode this early. Regarding Swamp, Swamp is marked incorrectly on the tracker. It is a crystal. Skullwoods is the pendant. And he could have duped Swamp. You can't dupe crystals in Overworld glitches because we don't allow Underworld glitches. They're very, very strong and broken. So you do have to enter and complete Swamp the normal way.
Right. And we will have access to Ganon once Aghanim 2 is defeated, but all we can do is see what his opening... Actually, no, we can't even see what he has to say, because he'll tell us that we cannot beat him until our goal is completed. Randomizer has a goal, as we know. It could be defeat Ganon, or it could be all dungeons, something along those lines. And this is a defeat Ganon goal. So this means that the randomizer gives Ganon invincibility, where he cannot be hurt in Phase 4 until the goal is met, until the 7 crystals are collected.
So Baliame will need to pick up the Cane of Samaria before he can get anywhere near go mode. He knows that Bo is locked by Samaria, and therefore is looking pretty much only for the Cane of Samaria.
And it is sort of interesting, coincidental, that that hint was in Hera, and he just needs to go back to Hera to get that cane. But those myths have given Bali the opportunity to do these kind of slow checks here. So that is the choice.
Looks like he's going to be heading into Swamp Palace, so we actually get to see what's in there. He hasn't done South Shore yet, has he? Wow.
I suppose not. Yeah, because he's at the dam now.
So that is a rare scenario in which you do Swamp Palace at the same time as the dam.
Yeah, it's a good call. I like when that happens. Pretty rare. Great Aghanim fight for Michael. Let's see what dungeon he chooses to go to next. Is it possible he needs 7 crystals?
Wow, yeah, he needs all of the crystals. That's amazing.
Right. It may seem that Bali is a bit behind, since he's searching Swamp and Michael's already in go mode. The good news is that Bali is a crystal up on Michael. 2 crystals up, actually.
Yeah.
Wait.
Desert's a quick
2.
crystal. Yeah, Desert is a fast crystal, but Thieves Town is a bit slower. I have no idea where Michael is going right now. Why is he getting Ether? Oh, I know. It's because he doesn't know what the Mayo medallion is yet, so he needs to get medallions for it, and he's probably going to go there first, just in case. Because he's like sort of in go mode, but not really.
Yeah, so this is a good routing situation. I didn't realize he didn't know. So now he's got 2 out of 3 medallions, and he's pretty confident, but we'll find out shortly that he is truly in go mode. If that's what's happening here.
Yeah, I would imagine this is his goal. So this is going to be a really efficient clearing of all of the crystals. We're going to have go mode almost every dungeon. So I would imagine he's going to do Mire and Desert together, head up to Thieves Town, maybe head, and then I guess save and quit to Swamp, then do save and quit Swamp, Ice, Pod, Eastern, Ganon.
Swamp, Ice, Pod, Eastern, Ganon. That's a good idea. Yeah. I wonder if you'll do an all dungeons route of Mire, Swamp, Ice. Maybe not, but that would be an interesting parallel.
Well, he does have mitts and like regular Dark World access, so it's not too hard to get to Thieves.
Oh, how about that?
Hey.
Bali finds silver arrows and that easy chest to check in Swamp.
Which means it is fairly likely that Michael will also get those silvers if he is thinking about that when he's going through Swamp Palace. If you grab some of the easy chests, you can just snag that one really quickly, and it will turn out good for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am not sure. We'll have to see. And we'll also have to see what the race as we get more crystals. The lead, you might call it.
Yes, Ardoil. Michael is in go mode, but you can still check chests on the way to see if you can get silver arrows or maybe a little bit of extra health along the way, since he is only at 10 hearts. He does have red mail, which is fairly safe, but hearts matter. Okay, I was going to say that hearts matter more than armor in Ganon's tower, but he's already done with that, so it doesn't matter.
Right, the most dangerous parts of the game remaining for Michael might be Vitreous and Ganon. I suppose Cold Stare.
That's a pretty nice big key.
Yep.
Plus he does have powder, which lets him get this anti-fairy over here for some extra health. It is possible to do the spooky action glitch even if you don't have the flute, which is actually a prerequisite for getting and using that glitch. It is possible, but it saves like 1 second, so it's really not that worth it. Also, we have the legendary 50-minute mini Moldorm cave check.
That's right, Bali will be getting a fairy bottle here. Oh yes, and the Cane of Burna.
Which is the wrong color cane.
Yes, I was wondering what that was. Those sword slashes. Yeah, it's not surprising to have this kind of intensity from Bali at this time. So much of the world is open. When you get a lot of items in Overworld Glitched, it's just you have no idea where to go. Where are the two remaining Go Mode items? Am I going to pick the right dungeon?
I mean, really, it's just one because of the bow hint. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, the right dungeon is a pendant dungeon that he's already been partially inside of.
Right. That is a really good point that I forgot about. There's no incentive to go to Hera at this time, so he's going to focus on crystal dungeons right now.
Oh yeah, there's like actually nothing left up there for him except Spike Cave, which is definitely not worth it.
Well, has he checked Ether tablet?
Yes, he has checked it. So there's nothing except for just Hera.
Mm.
And I guess if he wanted to go back to Turtle Rock, but it's kind of risky to do that without Cane of Samaria. Since, by his logic, the bow might be in Turtle Rock.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's. I want to be optimistic here, but it's hard to see him going to Death Mountain for those exact reasons. On the other hand, Hera is a place. Because of the importance of that Hera clip, it is possible to find yourself in Hera multiple times in an Overworld glitched run. So it often is checked. In other words, it's not often left behind.
Yeah, but it's important to think about the scenario that he's in right now. He has hammer and mitts, and the main reason you'd go to Hera is either 1, to check Death Mountain stuff, or 2, to go to the Dark World. And it would be slower to go to Hera to do that than to go anywhere else. Like, you could just use a normal portal and it would be faster. So I don't think he's going to be going back to Hera anytime soon.
If you say so. We'll have to find out.
It's also possible that he might forget that he has hammer and gloves, like I have done several times, and go to Hera because he thinks that he can't do it normally. Sometimes
What do you mean? What do you mean gloves?
Just to use a normal portal, like a Dark World portal.
Like on the east side?
I mean, like.
Oh, you mean to access the main area of the Dark World? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes you get so wrapped up in doing the glitches that you forget that you can do it glitchless, and that would actually work out pretty well for him. Michael unfortunately missing the 2 cycle on Landmolus. Only a couple of seconds.
Yeah. Things are looking good for Michael now.
So let's see where he decides to go next. I am curious whether he'll go to Thieves or Swamp. The way he's going looks like Thieves to me. Ice Palace is a pretty slow dungeon that Bali is going through right now, but it is worth knowing that he did get mitts very early, and then Bombos and Fire Rod pretty shortly afterwards. So going to Ice is actually not a super bad idea because the logic does kind of nudge you there, even though so far it's looking not very useful.
Yeah, it's just a red herring. It's just a series of red herrings. A wild goose chase. But I think these are good calls based on the hints, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
The logical hinting.
He is making sound plays, even if they aren't the quote-unquote correct plays for the seed. That's an important distinction always when you're talking about randomizer, to like what is a good play versus what's the right play, because the right play is not something that you can always figure out. Obviously it's random, but you can usually figure out what good plays are.
Well, the good news is Bali is making progress. He's just killed Cold Stare, collecting another crystal.
That was a pretty nice Cold Stare fight, too. So now, Bali has 4 crystals to Michael's 2. But Ice is a really slow dungeon to full clear and a pretty fast one to go mode, so that could be a big difference.
Did we see left side swamp from Bali?
No, we have not.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting time save right there.
He probably wants a hint for it, which is not unreasonable. The hint for left side swamp comes up pretty frequently.
Yes. This is an interesting play right here. Graveyard Cave into Sanctuary. Ooh, we have a yellow screen.
Yeah, so Michael is currently blinding everybody with this minor glitch called LSD blind. If you use the select menu and open it as you drag the maiden into the light, it does some interesting things to the colors on the screen, as you're seeing right now. You can also do it using the mirror, which creates some interesting pixelations. There are a bunch of different effects. The technical reason is pretty complicated, so I'm not going to go into it. But it does do nice things, and then it all goes away once you leave the boss room. So it looks cool, and then it doesn't bother you for the rest of the run.
Another effect, which is not relevant, but it is interesting, is that the shutter door in the boss room did not close. So during the fight or after the fight, Michael could have left the room. It's not relevant for this mode, but it can be a potential shortcut in no logic or other things.
Alright, so Bali is actually going back to Hera. Interestingly. He is not going to continue further into the dungeon, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is what I mean by finding yourself in Hera. But there is more on Death Mountain that Bali is finding to do. And it's just too bad he didn't make that search.
He may have already gotten an item out of Hera and then didn't want to commit further.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Mm-hmm. Right, because it could be a really long check. It could be like at Moldorm. It could be in the tile room.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Instead he's going to go check Catfish, which is usually kind of an out of the way location, but we can just jump off a mountain, so no big deal.
Right, and we know exactly how long it's going to take to get this item, unlike the sort of ambiguity of Hera.
He also has not gotten the Zora area yet.
Right, this is a good route.
Yeah, he is linking everything together really well. It's just not the place he has to go.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Half Magic is available in Palace of Darkness.
And we're going to see Michael K try and show off with a little hover here.
Plus RNG. Look at that.
No. This hover is pretty hard. So I have heard, because I can't actually hover. But you do have to go into the rail and it is pixel perfect according to reports. So it is pretty hard. It does save a pretty decent amount of time if you get it, but it is also, you know, as I said, really hard.
Yeah. I've never tried it. Michael just needs a big key and keys, so it would have been a nice time save if he pulled it off. Oh, Bolly's taking shortcuts here with more boots clips. I think that's a pretty interesting.
I'm not actually sure that is a shortcut.
Yeah, it looks like a shortcut.
Are you sure
it's
it's
the fastest line between 2 points? Straight line. Yeah.
If your straight line involves sitting around doing a clip, then okay.
I don't see why I wouldn't.
I don't know. Bally clips really fast, so I guess it's worth for that. Bally did pick up a blue potion though, which I am excited to see the consequences of.
Right, a blue potion is. I was just going to say fake flute, and then Michael found the real flute. We probably will not see that activated.
Definitely.
It's just
we will definitely not see it activated.
Useless instrument in this mode. Oh, there we go. Bali did a nice clip down to the pod area. But yeah, he's staying in this area. He's not fake fluting. He's not going anywhere strange. He's just making his routing through the world here. We may see Eastern, if we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, Baliame has not gone into Eastern Palace yet. So, he is possibly expecting an item in here. Well, the Cane of Samaria. It's possible. You never know.
One thing I haven't tracked in terms of the logic this race is, where can the lamp be?
I don't think anything was locked by dark rooms. I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
So, which means that the lamp can be pretty much anywhere that we haven't already checked.
Right. We've seen a lot of the game, so kind of running out of places where it could be.
Yeah, again, dark rooms are not in logic, so something like Trenix can't have the lamp. Like Helmasaur can't have the lamp. But you could have the lamp in Ganon's tower because, you know, you can just clip inside of it.
I'm like wondering what was able to be dug up. Do you remember that, Espeon?
Well, it depends on what that was referring to, because at the digging game, there was the ice rod, and at the shovel spot, there was the single arrow.
Oh yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know for sure. That's funny. Both unique items.
Both of them about as useless.
Yeah.
I mean, Ice Rod is as useful as it always is, which is in exactly one scenario. Ways to glitch around the cutscene from the bow lock. Yes, there are ways to avoid that cutscene. They're all major glitches in the underworld, so they are banned in Overworld glitches because we decided that they were too strong. But you can go around them. There are a couple ways. They're both pretty similar. They're, you either do a YBA, which is a glitch using a potion, or you do a mirror door, which is the same glitch, but you use the mirror instead. So you do both of them inside of the door, and in the door, you use it on the same frame that you transition through the door, and that causes the game to be really confused. The sub-mode increments incorrectly, which causes the game to wrap you farther than intended. Nice Helmasaur kill, netting another crystal.
I would ask what a sub mode is, but I'm not sure I will retain it for Overworld glitch logic.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, it honestly doesn't matter at all. It's just the technical explanation.
For sure. Yeah, and often when it is asked, has someone found a way to do X? Yes, someone has found a way to do it. Which is what makes no logic a possibility in Randomizer.
As far as okay, so if you skip the cutscene there, what actually happens? When I say skip the cutscene, what I really mean is you're using a glitch to move yourself from the Mimic's room over to the total party. So it actually just bypasses a bunch of rooms.
Maybe Lamp is in Skullwoods. I don't think we've seen that this race.
Yeah, that is possible. We have not gone to Skullwoods at all. It's interesting how the runners are actually following very similar paths, but Michael is clearing the dungeons while Bali is only dipping them.
Right? It's just the problem of not having the bow here. Did we see Bali go into Misery Mire?
He has not done that yet. He does know that he can get in.
Yeah.
He does not
right.
know. He hasn't gone in yet though.
Yeah.
Alright, so Michael is done with Pod and Eastern. The only crystals he has left are Swamp and Ice. So he will go mode Swamp Palace and maybe pick up the silver arrows in the waterfall chest. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask if we could use the old tracker from the Overworld Glitches tournament for this, where it has a marker for Aghanim 2, since that actually matters. Oh well.
Right. The trackers haven't marked that Aghanim 2 is completed. So that's a whole dungeon that Michael has done that Bali hasn't. A significant one at that.
Yeah, the Ganon's Tower ascent is pretty long. It's like 6 minutes or so. So that is a pretty significant time difference. Does he call you a dingus? Yes, he calls you a dingus if you don't have all the crystals. That is Ganon. Ganon calls you a dingus.
Ganon has a very peculiar sense of humor.
I think he's funny. So we are going to get to see Skullwoods here. Valiame is still searching for that Cane of Samaria.
Oh wow, so Michael K bypassed the waterfall chest, meaning he skipped silver arrows there. It won't make a difference really in this race, but it is an interesting thing to kind of note and see what he'll check and not check.
Apparently the answer is he'll check nothing, because that is one of the single easiest chests to get if you're in go mode.
Yeah, I think this was foreshadowed a little bit by Michael's refusal to get a heart container when he had 4 hearts.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you might actually need that heart container. I mean, he'll be fine. I'm sure he knows Silverless.
Alright, Argus goes down, and it looks like we just need to see one more crystal from Michael. Then he'll be on to Ganon.
Yep, it will be Ice Palace. So my question is, will Michael go for the 5-second time save of the Mirror Wrap into Ice Palace?
It looks like a no. It looks like a no.
I mean, that's fine, because that is a glitch that carries inherent risks of hard walking. Plus, he has mitts anyway, so he can just go the normal route. But if you don't have mitts, you do have to use a glitch to get into Ice Palace. It is not in logic, so the logic does consider mitts as required for Ice Palace, but getting into ice without mitts is probably the single most important out of logic break in Overworld glitches, just because it lets you skip the mitts in every case, and mitts are awful, so we don't want them.
Michael needs a key before he goes out of Ice 2 here. Yeah, you make a really good point about the most important sequence break in the scale of sequence breaks. It is not too difficult to learn mirror wraps, and they're pretty fun to pull off, in my opinion. And you skip having to search for a glove that could be anywhere in the game, anywhere that can be mitts blocked in other modes.
Yeah, it's like on the scale of Silverless or Dark Rooms. Like, Dark Rooms let you skip Lamp, Silverless lets you skip Silvers, Mirror Wrap lets you skip mitts, and we don't want to get more items. So where is Bally going now? He doesn't really have too many more. Okay, Michael's just going to hover the IPBJ. You know, no big deal. That was a very nice hover.
Yeah, Michael's getting really confident with these hovers. We saw a couple of missteps earlier, but that one was right on.
Oh, he's going for another thing? Oh.
He went for the thing! Oh, that's too bad. What was the thing, Espeon?
The thing is a relatively new glitch. It was discovered only about, I want to say a month ago. That looks about right because it was right before AGDQ. So we discovered this glitch in Ice Palace, which lets you clip yourself into those stairs that he was sort of sliding across the ice at, aiming to hit with a spin attack. And so that lets you clip in, and it saves about 20 frames. And it looks really cool.
It looks cool. It saves you from having to go directly above the staircase. And it has a funny side effect if you pull it off incorrectly, which is that you get hit by the stairs. Because they kind of act like spikes. Or the game code basically thinks they are spikes.
Yeah. Michael getting hit a little bit much in the cold stair fight. Barely punches it out with the half a heart and gets the 7th crystal.
Yeah, it looked fast from my angle, but he had half a heart at the end there.
And that's it. That's all the crystal dungeons and Aghanim 2. So Michael's off to Ganon.
And how will he get there?
Don't know, but it looks like Baliame is off to Tower of Hera.
Yes, this is good. This is very good. So I have an inkling. I'm going to write down my guess here as to why Bali didn't do the green pendant. And I'm going to ask him later to see if it's the answer.
There's the King of Samaria. Gonna plop it right on top of that chest. Blow it up a couple of times. Ooh, Michael. So Michael is going for this really cool clip. This is called the river clip, where you kind of go into this slope across the river, and now you're in a weird part which doesn't match the collision on screen. I don't actually know what it looks like, but if you go here, if you go to the right, it changes the screen, and then it puts you on top of the pyramid, and now you're at Ganon.
Well done. I don't think that was a shortcut, but it was pretty fun to see.
That was a shortcut. That was, I think, if you do it quickly, it's faster.
Yeah, I hear you there. Yeah, and one kind of scary thing about it, there's not really a soft lock problem. It's more of like fall into the hole wrong and you go to Chris Houlihan room.
Yeah, I think that particular method is actually safe though. It won't get you Houlihan. I don't know. I have not bothered figuring out any of the new glitch stuff in a while.
Sure.
I'm like, my glitch knowledge is like a couple of months outdated at this point.
We saw Michael get the torch glitch, which is going to make Silverless Ganon much easier than otherwise. The right torch will never go out, and he's able to pull off double hits and triple hits without too much trouble. He's got a good pace with these double hits.
And the final hit on Ganon has been dealt. Get your GGs in chat to Michael K.
And Michael finishes with a time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 26 seconds, winning this restream 1 versus 1. We have others in the race. Can we talk a little bit about what else we've seen in this race? In the IRC channel?
Yeah, so the first place was Plasma Kappa, finishing in 112, which is a really fast time. Then second place, Futin in 124, and then Michael, and I believe he is here with us now.
Yeah, I'm here. GG's.
GG, congrats on your restream race win.
I think I played really bad, but yeah, it was still a good time.
And it was really fun to watch too. So what did you think about the seed overall? Would you describe it as free?
I would describe it as free. I just wish I would have been able to check. To be honest, I should have checked Maya Medallion after Desert Palace. I got the bit there. I should have checked it there and would have made this a bit easier on me.
Right. Espeon brought up the idea of immediately checking Meyer, and I thought that would be a good route as well. I don't think we saw that route from Bali. Or did we? We did see on his screen, on his side, the Meyer medallion first. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Ollie did go to Meyer as part of like the standard Dark World loop, sort of, which is usually when you check it. But if you get into Go mode miraculously before you manage to check that, then you want to go there first because it is essentially the only thing that can stop you from Go mode at that point.
Yeah, I never got around to the usual Dark World route. I was like bow and flippers from Go mode at the end, and yeah, I had 10 servos of those.
And there they were in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, boost and then it's so it was fun.
One very interesting thing we saw from Bali was a pearl-less Ganon's Tower. So it was pretty interesting to see flippers found pretty early. But of course he just recently found the cane, so didn't have access to the bow for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, he still doesn't.
Ooh.
Well,
but he has a hint, I think, right?
Yes.
Hopefully has a hint. So that means he
Right.
will at least go there soon. Especially, he has the Ice Rod, so he might do Tadrock first.
No way. He's not going to go to T-Rock. He will almost certainly go to Ganon's Tower and grab that. Because
I guess it's faster.
Yeah, even if you don't find bow there, you still finish it anyway, and then I guess since you have to go back and it's faster to get to Ganon's Tower.
He didn't do GT on the first run?
He did. He didn't have cane, so he couldn't get bow.
Well, we can skip bow by now.
He didn't have a fire. He didn't have fire source either.
Okay, that makes sense.
I like the way you
silver in Swamp Palace.
What's that about Swamp Palace?
The Silvers, they were in Swamp Palace according to Ganon.
Yes.
Yes, do you want to know which chest it was?
Yeah. Why
The
not?
waterfall chest.
Oh, the one chest that no one would ever actually think about checking when in go mode, like. Yeah, the one on the way. So
On the
yeah.
way. But you were getting a lot of double hits in your silverless fight, so it looked pretty straightforward.
Yeah. The only thing I wish I would have maybe found was the lamp, but I got half magic, so it didn't really matter.
Where do you think the lamp was? Because we don't know.
I could guess might be Ice Palace, might be. What could it be?
I mean, at this
What could
point,
it be? I guess.
at this point, Balayame has cleared most of the game, so I don't think so. So it's not in Ice because he full cleared that. It's not in Skull. It could be on Green Pendant, but I think that's fairly unlikely. I think actually, Sword is probably on Green Pendant.
Yeah, we.
Oh
did
yeah,
we,
right,
we had,
'cause we
had
saw
a
Zora.
hint about unique. Yeah,
and
we did had a
Smith.
hint about sword on unique person.
Mm-hmm.
Sword on a person.
Mm-hmm. Right. I forgot about that. Meanwhile, we have a 4th place finish.
We have fourth place finishes. ETM and Pink Kitty Rose both finished at 137.46 exactly.
Yeah, and Boosh, fourth place, according to the race board. That's perfect.
All of our first through 4th place, with the exception of PKR, we've seen PBs. And it's not a free seed, in my opinion, because of the tower cane being a pendant. With so many things early in this seed, there's just no real reason to go and get that cane. If you do a route like Bali did, you get those early mitts, and you want to go do all these other things. So it is, all this variety is just par for the course here. But for those who did find it, wow.
I think mitts were actually a complete red herring. Like, did they actually do anything?
Well, logically, you need the mitts to get into Ice Palace.
Okay, but we don't care. So did they actually do anything except make Balayame think he had to go to Ice Palace?
No, they never do.
Mitts, the only thing mitts do is do better routing, otherwise useless.
I mean, it is technically possible, I think, to get a seed that requires mitts.
Yeah, I guess.
Like something stupid with no mirror, no bottle, and you have to get Smith.
Well, if you would have like just Flipper's mirror and what is it? A bottle in the first bottle in ice, with everything else locked behind that bottle. Maybe.
I mean, it's still possible to mirror wrap even if you don't have any items other than mirror.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have a mirror, then it's kind of required. But yeah.
So 131 collection rate, that is pretty good.
20 too high.
I mean, considering that you cleared most of Ganon's tower, that makes it okay. Like it's still a really good collection rate because Ganon's tower is, you know, what it is.
Yeah. You in glitch modes you kind of often clear out most of Ganon's tower and find 2 to 3 items there, so it's not too unusual.
Is there anything kind of strange or funny? There's a couple of odd things about the seed at the beginning. Fetch quests. Any other comments about the item placement, Michael?
Mirror first chest, yay!
Yes,
Yay.
Then I don't come around to do Permanent Fairy till I have sinned, and then forgot about it.
Yeah. So, that allowed you to get a sword from the pyramid, and then hookshot from Uncle.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, Baliame took the same route a little bit earlier, so it worked out.
Makes sense. When would you not do this route when you get Mirror so early?
If you're lazy and don't like going to Death Mountain without a sword.
This mountain sword is not that dumb, but I prefer to have a sword there.
So Bali finishes Aghanim 2. He has 2 more dungeons to clear because he just found the bow in Ganon's tower.
Fortunately, they are the fast dungeons that are right next to the pyramid, so he'll just run over, do Brawl, do Eastern, run back. And then he'll finish off Ganon. And speaking of that, we have Hacksaw finishing in 6th place at 142.45.
Michael, your hovers are getting much more confident. I haven't seen a lot of these happen. But how about that Ice Palace one? That seemed pretty good.
That one is by now free for me. I still want to learn that Palace of Darkness one, which is mostly just a bit nicer routing.
I mean, that one's hard. It's like pixel perfect, right? I don't actually know anything about the hovers.
Yeah, I don't either.
You have like 3 pixels in height to clip into the rail, then have a single pixel that you need to hover down the rail, need to stop on a pretty, I think 2 pixels of heat, and press straight right to get in the frame after you release the hover. So yeah, it's kind of
okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's.
I didn't realize there are a lot of steps there.
Yeah, it's pretty much the hardest hover that I attempted so far, other than the just long ones.
So, but it lost you a bit of time in certain areas. So, did you want to go for the hint in Spectacle Rock? Did you ever end up going back there?
I wanted to go for the hint, but I said after I fell, no, I'm not gonna take it. I got
Right.
a few good hints already, so yeah. Probably just a token.
I don't remember what it was. You're probably right.
Dolly having some troubles finding the torch here. I don't actually know what vertical level it is on. It's somewhere. Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Single slash to take care of 6 turtles.
Yeah, running all over the room gets the turtles all clumped up. Oh, we've got EDM in chat mentioning the lamp location, which is Tile Room, a most wonderful location.
I had a feeling. I didn't say
Yeah.
anything.
The one place in GT that we didn't check.
Yep.
I have no idea where Michael's going right now. Something.
Right. He did a strange. Oh. Okay. He's showing us a new way into Spectacle Rock.
And then hovering. And we have some more finishes in the SRL channel, in the IRC. We have Glan finishing in 147.23 and Purdy Wong in 148.19.
Yep. I'm gonna say it's likely they were missing Kane as well. It could have been other things. There could have been other things going to make to cause this time difference.
I really don't think I can't think of anything that would cause that time difference. Honestly, everything else was in a
Right.
fairly simple location.
Yeah, it would have to be something silly or unfortunate, like
Except,
a
like-
stop block or forgetting
Yeah.
some location.
I guess maybe like
Excuse me.
Fire Rod.
Yeah.
Maybe like if you somehow didn't have hookshot, like if you decided
Yeah.
that you were gonna do Death Mountain right away, because you were really excited, and then you got the pearl, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go straight into the Dark World. You go into the Dark World right there, and you do the first chest of Hookshot Cave using the sequence break to get in without the gloves, and you can't hover, like because hovering's hard. So then you don't get the other chests, which has Fire Rod. That is the only situation I can think of which would be weird.
Wait a second, Espion. Why do we want Fire Rod in the seed?
That's a good point. Okay, you want Fire Rod because then Lamp is in Tile Room, but then you'd get Lamp because you don't have a fire source, so it doesn't actually matter. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So my entire scenario there was just completely wrong.
Yeah, it is. this is I don't this has got to be a similar situation. But fire rod is required in something like 98% of seeds.
Okay, I guess it is required in the seed for bow and for bow in the right side
Oh
of
yeah,
GC.
bow is right side. Yeah,
But you could skip that with
you could
the
skip
bomb
it,
jump.
Yeah. Nice, Michael K. You pulled off the Hera bomb clip.
The thing that I don't know how to do because I would just one frame it.
Yeah, it's not that hard. I just don't know the pixels for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, that's not one that you'd ever really see done.
Yeah, it only
I
is
should-
really needed for the dupe of that item, and yeah, no one would ever dupe that item because it's so rarely be worth one.
Yeah, the item dupes. I'm kind of sad that we didn't get to see any item dupes.
Yeah, I was saying that you and Bali Yame in particular are very well studied in item dupes. Something that I don't really go for so much. And yeah, about that item dupe, it sort of like interferes with the Spectacle Rock one. Or the Spectacle Rock one interferes with the floating island.
Yeah, you need to do for this one especially, as well as for the one in Data Palace, you need to do some really weird stuff in order to get it. Otherwise, it's just doesn't work out because you would otherwise just either land in a bad screen transition or dupe it over the wrong item. So yeah, that to do.
That's no good.
Michael, we have a request that you show off the laser bridge clip.
Later bridge? Do you mean the mirrorless one or?
Yeah, the mirrorless.
Mirrorless Turtle
Oh,
Rock
gosh.
Laser Bridge. 1, 2, 3, go.
Give me like a minute.
And Baliame fires the final silver arrow into Ganon, finishing off the pig and bringing the seed to a close. GG.
GG's to Baliame. Welcome, Baliame. GG's. I hear
Imagine that you double dip 2 dungeons and not go 2 bad dungeons for an item that you could have had 4 minutes into the race.
I'm sorry that you couldn't find your favorite item.
Yeah, it just keeps haunting me, doesn't it?
Even when you're not playing the one where it's allowed to be broken, it still
Yeah.
should show up.
Basically.
I mean, it is a good illustration of the volatility sometimes of Overworld glitches. You get a ton of stuff to check, and then you're like, well, what do I check? Because there's so much to do. And nothing you did was like the bad decision. It just wasn't the right decision.
Yeah, I sequence broke a whole lot of things, and I just don't feel like I misexecuted or anything. I just made a gamble there. It was at that very moment at the back of my mind, like I could just go up here, right? But I got one item downstairs, so it wasn't that appealing, and I had so much.
Yeah, you got the flippers, you got the big key, you got a sword upgrade. Randomizer room was pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, I was like, okay, so I'm a bit late on Moon Pearl, but I've narrowed it down to a few locations, so I guess I'll get that. And that's probably what I skipped at that point, right? So, hey, the world opened up. Let's go adventuring.
Yeah.
Should have stayed.
Yeah, with Moon Pearl, both you and Michael picked it up at close to the same time. So, the difference was Michael had done South Shore stuff, and you had done some of the Pearlist stuff in Village of Outcasts, and then also Hype Cave, which was fun.
I can never locate Stumpy after that mirror wrap. I keep thinking I'm at the correct stump,
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm usually not.
Yeah. And by the way, thank you, Michael, for pulling off that nice Turtle Rock clip. Yeah, when I do that mirror wrap, I feel like I'm kind of stuck in a tree, so I try to go just left a bit, and then I can kind of transition down. But you did it a little bit differently, which I thought was really interesting, getting the camera correction first before transitioning down.
Yeah, I actually didn't. Okay, real talk. I didn't actually know what I was doing until I got the camera correction. Okay.
Right.
At that point, I realized, oh, if I get the camera correction, Stumpy is going to be exactly on the left side boundary.
Yes, and that
So,
was
wait.
really interesting because I didn't notice that you talked to Stumpy, which is what, it's part of the glitch to make your progress there. You get the Super Bunny state.
I mean, I didn't notice either.
Yeah, but Espeon mentioned it first.
I don't even know what he gave you.
Right,
I
we didn't
heard
know
the
what he picked
jingle
up.
of rupees.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that makes sense, because I don't think Michael even checked Stumpy.
No, I checked like nothing in the Dark World, Overworld.
I mean, you didn't have to. The seed was free.
Yeah,
Moon
I
Pearls
checked.
were the
like,
worst. Sorry to interrupt, Michael. Go ahead.
I checked Light World, everything. Dark World, nothing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Was there anything in the Dark World other than that one sword sitting on Pyramid?
Fire Rod in the Trot Cave, and
Oh, yeah,
no,
bomb.
Fire Rod.
Okay,
bomb
but
was-
Fire Rod was actually optional.
yeah, lamp the entire room.
Yeah. If you can bomb jump right side GT.
Wait, where was the lamp?
Entire room.
Oh, tower room. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have done that. But of course, Fire Rod just landed in my lap, so that was nice.
We were talking about what a waste of time the myths were. Turns out Moon Pearl also a waste of time. Well, it had Bombos and Fire Rod, but
I would have been
In
excited
Dark
if
World.
we got a. I would have been excited if we got a Pearless seed, but it was like starting to look like Pearless, but then it wasn't.
yeah.
If I manage to narrow down one of these days the location of the Moon Pearl on Restream, of course, to a
Yes.
single
yes.
chest or a single location, I will skip it for you.
Mhm.
I've been thinking
Yes.
about it.
Yeah, like even if it's like completely by far the most unoptimal thing to do, it would still be completely worth it.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's really just Swamp that's fancy tech. Everything else is just fake loot.
Swamp is not that hard. There are really good setups for the Death Hole now, and then all you do is you just take it down there and jump in the water.
We can
Oh,
still
yeah,
call it
but-
fancy.
It's fancy.
Michael showing off some more, doing the swamp super
1,
jump where
2,
you fall
3,
8 times
4.
off a mountain.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, at the end of the day, at least I got to show off some neat tech.
Oh, he's doing the Meyer thing where he goes over and he uses. This is great. I saw this like once before and it blew my mind.
It is probably the biggest spectacle that you can get, the super jump, right?
And then after that, you Oh, he's just gonna fix the camera. That's disappointing.
Yeah. Bali, your GT clip was good. As a bunny, a Dark Link. You had some good Dark World navigation. Going through Village of Outcasts. Yeah, it's just too bad items weren't falling in line there.
Yeah, it happens.
So here's what I was talking about: the death hole, which Michael is apparently doing. Maybe.
Not enough bombs yet. I need some bombs more.
You have one. That's good enough.
Not
But
with red
maybe it
mail.
won't kill him.
Yeah, you'd have to dig for it. Neither of those rocks is bomb. I think in the Dark World, one of them is a bomb spot. Be careful that you don't get a fairy out of the ground.
You could find a bat.
Okay, found some enemies to damage myself a bit more down.
I just want to see this finish, and then we'll wrap up. While Michael's looking for a bomb on the restream. Any more thoughts on the seed? Any final thoughts?
I mean, I'm starting to not like Kane.
How could
That's
you
my
not
final
like?
thought.
How could you not like Kane?
It
lets you
always
destroy
betrays me.
the
Well, apparently Kane doesn't like Bali. Disappointing.
I wonder if it's possible to delete the link with the Cane of Samaria.
Valentine's Day. Today we like things that we like, that like you. You know.
the guard dropped an 8-bomb.
This is quite the demonstration. Thanks.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Almost. So for this, you want to item dash, which will place a bomb. Then you go down slash once, and then the bomb hits you on your way. The bomb hits you on the last possible frame while you're going at the hole. So now you can see that he has 0 health. And yet he's still walking around because the game didn't have time to kill him. So with 0 health, if you go and jump in the water, the game will have some interesting effects, such as killing you. It just kills you.
Well, the reason it kills you is the respawn. So if I would jump right now into a hole, it would not, or anything, it would do nothing unless it would actually damage me. I guess getting hit by a thief could kill me.
Yeah.
So
I
now you're
can't-
just doing fake flutes.
I can't think of anything that will kill you in a strange way at this point.
Yeah, just like jumping in water, getting hit by an enemy will instantly kill you, regardless of whether it actually does damage or not.
Oh, you could
You could
try getting hit by a thief, right?
That would probably kill you because it uses the same damage routine. It just doesn't do damage. Like it, so
Right.
it would probably kill you. I can try that later. Anyway, the
Thank
races,
you guys.
yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much for racing and volunteering for the restream. It was great to watch this play out and talk about the logic, talk about the item placements, and how it affected this race.
Okay, please don't kill.
They don't.
No, I'm bumping into the sea here right now the entire time, and he doesn't like it. I think what he kill doesn't kill.
Hmm.
That is interesting. I thought it would just kill you, but... Huh. This game is weird and doesn't make sense.
Yeah, thanks for trying.
Yeah.
And GG's to both of you.
Yeah, GG.
Espion, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just a quick one about the glitched modes in general. If you watched this race and you thought it was interesting and you want to learn these glitches yourself, on the A Link to the Past Randomizer Discord, there is an entire channel. It is called the Glitched Modes channel, which is where all of the glitch nerds hang out and talk about glitches, talk about the applications and routing, and the modes in general. So if you want to learn, or if you just want to chat about it, feel free to drop by. We're a friendly bunch.
Yeah, learning it takes like 20 minutes for the basics and maybe an hour for pretty much all the application needed. And you can actually ignore most of them for most of the seats. So yeah, it doesn't take long.
Yep. Alright, so with that, I think we are done. So have a nice night, everybody. This concludes the A Link to the Past Randomizer daily race. I have been Espion, and with Checkshuman, and also our tracker, who has been a little under-acknowledged because we were talking about glitches the whole time. Sendoris. I don't know how to pronounce that. I hope I'm doing it right. And the runners, Michael K. and Baliame. Their Twitch links should all be up in the chat. So give everyone a follow. Runners are great. So thanks everyone for watching.
Good night.